Okay, so this is the answers or solutions for the questions that you've been given today. So it's called here 2016. So those are the questions. Hopefully I can show them, both of them. Alright, I'll just go one by one. So you've got, you've given f function to the 3 equals 0. You need to find at least one factor. Because I've got the answer is 0, so definitely I need to have x minus 3 is one of the factors. So that's it. That's what you needed to do. Now, the second questions, you've been giving you two numbers. So as you see, u and v. So you've been giving u and v as the two numbers, and you want to find the value of 2u plus 3v. So that's quite straightforward. You just basically substitute, expand, and this is in the rectangular form. The question says that you need to give it in a polar form. So I found the r, and then found the tan inverse, that's the function, and that's your polar form. So that's your final answer. Now the C questions, you've all got the questions with you. So the C is just finding the equation. So basically they're finding the locus equation, and for z that satisfy. Because I've got this format, I know my equation will be a circle. Okay, to work out this way, so we'll just work it out exactly the same method as we've done before. So you've just substitute instead of z the general z function, and then you finding it, square both sides, and then that's what you get. It means that the loci is a circle with the center 3, -2, and radius 5. So you can see there's no surprises. Now the next question is, you need to solve this equation that's been given. So it's been given, the equation's been given to you like that. Okay, you can't solve it straight away, so you will have to rearrange. We've got this one here, we change this one into a polar format, so that's what we've got. Square root of 2 cis 45 degrees, and then I would use the root theorem, and that's where I get, because square root is mean half times 1/5 is literally 10th root, and that's where you get. Remember the calculator what you've used, and you've got this is as my answers. Okay, I've used now the next question is E. You've been giving that's two value, so you've been giving the u and the w in the in the polar and the diagrams, and then you need to find this questions here, or the answer for these questions. So what I've done, I found first the answer for you. So I've used just the graphic calculator, and I've got this one here. And then what I've done, I've got 2 minus 4i. So I've just used the graphic calculator, and that's what I've got. And because I've got z to the arcs for this, it means I've just substituted instead of z, x plus yi, so the general complex number. And then I've rearranged it into the same way that I do the locus. And then after I've done that, I've done the tan for both sides. And once you've got the tan for both sides, you've got to pi over 4. The tan for pi over 4 is 1. What it means the real part is equal to 1, and the imaginary part is equal to 1. Now, the real part is this one here, so it's x plus 2, and the imaginary part. When you do tan, you can still remember tan is sine over cosine. So imaginary over real. This is the imaginary part, this is the real part. So rearrange, you've got this equation in here. Okay, so this is the loci for the equation. It's a line equation. So it's a line starting from the center of the circle. Remember, sorry, not the center of the circle, but starting from to -2, +4, and it's at the right angle of pi over 4. Okay, so that's the answer for this. Now question 2. Question 2 again, you've been given two complex numbers. You just need to find the modular for w over z. First, you need to find w over z. So I found w over z using the graphic calculators again. Then I found the modular just substituting the answer. Now the next question, I'm going to read quite fast, it's just because it's quite late now. Need to go home. Alright, so you've got this one here, this one is the root of this equation. A root of this equation means because you can see the equation has no complex component. So that means the other root, because it's square, so the other root will be the conjugate of it. What I've done in here, I've rewritten the root as a factor, and I've rewritten the conjugate or the other root as a factor. Expand, simplify, I got up to this. Now, if I write this and compare it to the given equation, which is x squared plus ax plus b, and I compare, mean a is -6, b is -5. Now, the c, you've been given the power of I. Just remember, I to the power of 17, that's how we've done it. 17 is an odd number, so I can't divide by 2. I minus 1, I got 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8, which is an even number. That's why the answer for this is I. 15, odd. That means it has an I, but I need to know it's a negative I or a positive I. It's minus 1 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7, so it's an odd power. That's why it's a negative I. Negative I times negative, that's why I end up with a positive 1. 8 is an even power, divided by 2 is 1, positive 1, and that's why I end up with this here. Cubic, I've found it in the graphic calculator. I've just written this multiply by itself and gain multiply by itself, and I got this answer here, minus 91, I got this answer. Found the R value, the theta by the tan inverse, and now I've got my polar form. Next question, you've got this equation here and you need to solve it. It doesn't say solve x, but it says find the value of k. Now I've x squared because the k is inside the square root. Square, simplify, rearrange, I end up with this. Now this means k is any value. Why? Because k is in the numerator. So there is no value of k, makes this equation is undefined. That's why I say k is any value, and that's the answer. Alright, last question that I'm going to solve for today is you've got, this is the question, so it's an excellence question. This one mean, this formula has 3 roots and those are the 3 roots. So that's why I've written this as x minus I, that's the first factor. The second factor is 1 over k. I don't like to work with fractions, that's why I've written it as kx minus 1. It's the same, if you make it equal to 0, resolve it to x, you will end up with this. Next one is x plus 1 plus k, just changing the signs. Expand, so I've expand, it's a very ugly expanding, so it's quite a lot of expanding. You simplify, and then I collected like terms. So I've put all the coefficient has x squared, so you can see that I've underlined them all and put them into one x squared as a common factor. Then I've circled all the ones with the x and put them as a common factor, and then I've got the constants. Now if I compare to the real question, because that's the real equation, that's what's being given. It means k is 2. So you can see k here. It means it's 2. Now if I substitute now for the p squared, if I work it out, substitute k into the coefficient of x squared, I get the value of p, because p is the coefficient of x squared. That's why I end up with this, and that's why I've ended up with q. So sorry I've solved it quite fast, but it's getting really late. Alright, so good luck for tomorrow.